All right, AGS1, we have made it to the end of Mod 3. So I thought that we should do some Mod 3 closure notes that kind of bring together the really big mathematical concepts from Mod 3. So, essential question of the day, what were the important concepts from Mod 3? I thought that we would look at 6 really big concepts by just looking at this graph that I made up with no actual numbers, just letters on coordinates, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, H. We're going to talk about the domain, the range, the maximum. Not the range. Way to go, Jolly. This should say the minimum. Let me get that. And where it's increasing and where it's decreasing. First, let's talk domain. Maybe I'll get super color coordinated for this one. You guys, the domain is just all the x values that exist on the function. So I see here that this one starts at a. That here, this would be a. And then if I just trace all these x functions, so I'm like seeing all the x's that it lines up with, all the way up to and stopping at G. That's not a G, that's a G. So the domain would be A to G, and it includes A and includes G because these are closed circles. So that means that I'm going to do hard brackets from A to G. Now the range, we have to turn our pencil sideways and kind of look at all the y values that occur. I see here that it starts with a y value of b, but then it goes up and up and up and up and up all the way to point D on the y-axis, and then it comes back down and then hits F and then goes back up all the way to H. Now, these in-between points don't really matter too much. All we care about is the top, very tippy top and the very tippy bottom. Tippy bottom, is that a phrase? I don't think it is. So the lowest that it gets is here at point F. So here, that's F on the y-axis. And then here, the highest it gets is at D on the y-axis. So, because F is below D, we're going to start at F and go all the way up to D. And it includes those points because the curve actually touches at F and at D. So, F, that's an F to D. Hard bracket. Maximums and minimums. Maximums are like the tallest the graph gets in terms of the y, and minimums are the lowest it gets. So looking at my curve, the tallest it gets is right here at the top of this mountain. I think I initially said that these would just be the y values, but we're going to keep it simple and just put the coordinate of the maximum. So this would be C, comma, D. Just a reminder that this is a coordinate, not an interval. So this is an interval. This is an interval, but here is a coordinate. It's a little confusing because it looks like an interval that doesn't include C and D, but that's not what it is. It's a coordinate. The minimum is at the very bottom of the valley here, and that's going to be E, comma, F. Now, increasing, decreasing. Let's go blue. Increasing would be any place where the curve is going uphill. So from this point up to here, it's increasing. Then it goes downhill for a while, and then it increases again. So there's actually 2 sections where it's increasing. It increases from hard bracket A up to C, parentheses. Now that's because if you're riding your surfboard up the curve, that once you get up to the top here, your surfboard is flat, which means that you do not include the flat part. That means it's not increasing at C, but it definitely is increasing at A because you're going uphill. We need to unionize that with our surfboard down here that goes up and up and up and up this part. So unionized with open parentheses E all the way up to G, hard bracket. Decreasing. Running out of colors here. Let's go purple. This is the section where it's decreasing. Now, at C and at E, it's not actually decreasing because the surfboard is flat. So we're going to do open parentheses, C, comma, E. Now, this is confusing because it looks like a coordinate, but this is actually an interval of X values. Same with this guy. It's an unionized interval. The last thing, these are really the big concepts from the mod. Domain, range, maximum, minimum, decreasing, increasing. Now, there were a couple more words that we used that I wanted to show you guys with this table. They are the X-Intercept and the Y-Intercept. And then I thought I'd throw in a little increasing, decreasing down here as well. So, you guys, the X-Intercept is any place that has a Y value of 0. So, you search for that Y value of 0. That means this right here is our X-Intercept. So the X-Intercept is 1, 0. And this is, once again, a coordinate. I realize there's a lot of confusion about when we're doing intervals and when we're doing coordinates. So X-Intercept has a Y value of 0. Y-intercepts have an X value of 0. It's always opposite. So here, this is where there's an X value of 0. So the Y-intercept is 0, 4. Once again, this is a coordinate. Now, for the increasing, decreasing, I think it helps to put a little bar on the side of how the f of x's are changing. So to get from 12 down to 4, this is a minus 8. Then to get from 4 to 0, we do a negative 4. But then it goes back up. It's a plus 7, then a plus 18, then a plus 5, but then it goes down again. There's a minus 2. So what that means is that from negative 1 all the way up to positive 1, that here it was decreasing. Because these guys are decreasing over here. Horrible highlighter. Then, from 2 all the way up to 4, oops, it was increasing. But then here, it starts to decrease again. So, where is it increasing? Well, it increases from 2 to 4, not including 2 because it's a turnaround point, and not including 4 because it's a turnaround point. Once again, this looks like a coordinate, but it's actually an interval of the x values. It's this interval right here, 2 to 4. Where is f of x decreasing? Oh boy, well there's 2 places where it's decreasing. It's going to be negative 1 all the way up to 2. Or no, negative 1 up to 1. But then that's a turnaround point. So unionize that with 5. Oh no, that'd be 4 to 5. Wait, I think we need to include 2 here. That this needs to go all the way up to 2, but doesn't include it, and then because it's a turnaround point, and then it goes all the way up to 4 to 5. There we go. So the endpoints here have those brackets, but the turnaround points in between have those parentheses. Okay, you guys, that's all I got for you today.